Well, welcome everyone to our first April town hall. We've got several updates from every one of the core units. Maybe we can start with the DAO committee update. So I don't know, Jamil or HP, if you want to jump into that.
Sure. Hey, this week we elected a grant, but the most important is that we release vesting smart contracts. So there is about 21 million mana that were sent to the DAO agent. Also name are no name minting money mana is now going to the DAO instead of being burned, which is pretty cool. And that's about it.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for that, HB. And I think we can jump into the governance squad updates. Gino, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Okay, let me share my screen real quick. Not letting me. Got it. That's it. All right. Hey, everyone. Gino here from the Gordon Squad. A couple of updates on our side. Got it. Why this is not changing? Yes. So we've made a few releases in the last week, and we actually just made one in the last 5 minutes. So this is already updated because we have new stuff here. So we released let's say 2 small features and enhancements and a bigger feature that I will show you at the end. Remember that you can see our releases in our GitHub repository. It's there, it's public, so you can check what we're working on. So one of the things that we did, and I know that some people hate this, but it's a test, and that's why it's here, and that's why we're getting feedback about this, is we took the first step on seeing what happens if we remove remove or reduce the cognitive bias of knowing how the community feels about an issue before people actually voting on it. And what we did was basically, we hid by default the vote results until the user votes on a proposal. Of course, if you click on show results, you will be able to see it. You don't have to vote to see the results, but we're just hiding it by default on the voting module. If you're logged out, you will be able to see the results that didn't change. And the idea is to start testing this idea without actually making any binding change, without doing anything that required the governance proposal. So we're getting feedback about this, so feel free to hit me up over DM or on any public channel to see how you feel. And we will probably release a survey in a couple of weeks asking for feedback about this specific change. Another one, small enhancement, but we believe it's pretty useful. We released an improvement to the grant proposal page. You know that since we released all the restructuring of the grants program that was that went out of hold on the boss by the beginning of March, we kept improving this in order to help the community to make better decisions on how the money of the DAO is being allocated. And what we did was basically to release this sliding panel, the side sliding panel that shows if there are any other grants that are competing with the grant that you're looking at for the category budget defined for the quarter. So basically, it will give you more context when deciding how to allocate our resources. You will see if, okay, does it make sense to put 60K into this project if there are other 3 projects that maybe are better, that maybe are stronger or wherever? So you'll be able to see that in context and make decisions based on this. And lastly, we released another feature that we call community sentiment. Community sentiment is about expression. It's about people wanting to communicate how they feel about particular proposals. It's about giving users with different communication modalities, like the ability to express themselves. Maybe a yes or no or an abstain are just not enough for what you're trying to convey in your quotation, right? And sometimes you don't want to, or you can't post a comment because, I don't know, English is not your native language, because you don't know how to, or you don't feel to write a comment and get tangled into discussions. So the idea of this is, once you're about to vote on a grant, this is only available in grants right now, but in the future it will be available in different type of proposals. Not every type of proposal, but some of them, the more complex, the more lengthy ones. You will be able to see how you're feeling about the grant that you're voting. Maybe you like the idea, the team is okay, you love how they optimize the budget, so you will be able to add all that metadata to express how you feel about this. The important thing about this is the sentiment is going to be public. So at the bottom of the grant proposal, you will be able to see how people is like expressing their feelings about this. And also, we are sending these to Snapshot. So if you want to do wherever you want with this information, it's public and it's available on the metadata field of the Snapshot vote. So it's public for everyone to use and to do wherever you want. So yeah, I think that's it regarding features that we launched. Actually, this is the one that is outdated because we just made a release. So hiding proposal and filter shady votes are in production right now. But I won't spoil you with this. We're going to be working, or we actually been working on the hiding proposal. This is a governance proposal about adding a specific category, or it was like a sub-proposal from governance proposals about adding and removing people from committees. You know how the latest committee elections went, the DAO committee, revocations committee. I mean, we all felt the pain of not having a proposal specifically for this. So now it's out there, it's available for everyone to use. We're going to be working also on removing the shady votes. And when I say shady, I mean the bot votes, like votes with like 0 BP or 1 BP or things like that from voting results. And we're going to be releasing the bidding and tendering process V1 soon. And when I say soon, is actually in the past, the first 2, because we released it like 5 minutes ago, and the bidding and tendering probably in the next week. Then, next steps, we're going to be working on the first version of the badges for the DAO. This is going to be basically a pilot of using soulbound tokens to basically mint soulbound tokens to identify people in the DAO for contributions. Like if you're a grantee, if you're part of a core unit, if you're part of a committee, you will get a specific badge that will be displayed on your profile. And in the future, after we go through governance proposals and things like that, we will be able to maybe mint badges based on, I don't know, top voters or top proposal authors or things like that. And finally, we've been doing some pretty good progress on the multi-wallet delegation. This is something that it is a complex topic. There's a draft proposal, and I'm about to send a governance proposal regarding this. This is basically about changing the way delegation works in our DAO and hopefully in other DAOs too. Because at the moment, delegation is 1-to-1. So basically, you delegate all your voting power just to one address. And that leads to a situation where if you have to, or if you want to delegate to multiple people, you have to first split your assets into multiple wallets and then delegate, and that it's a complex, cumbersome, and expensive process. So the idea would be for the people to delegate from one wallet to multiple wallets on the same transaction, and ideally to do all of this in Polygon instead of mainnet, or in Polygon in addition to mainnet. We sent a couple of messages. Yesterday, the engineering team of the governance squad did like a hackathon session, and they basically made a lot of progress, and they put there the things that they worked, like they deployed the contracting early, they started testing it, they deployed a multi-delegation subgraph. So that's something that's going to be, it's going to be there soon. I think that's it. Finally, you can binge watch us. All the work that we do is public. You can see our releases on the GitHub repo. You can see our team board. You can see our demos, and you can provide feedback on the Kani page with the tag governance. I will share this presentation right away, so you have the links. And I think that's it. I don't know if there are some questions. So.
Hi, Gino. This is Chris from MetaTrackers. I just have two quick questions. The first one, I know I say this every time, but again, amazing job, man. Every time we come here, you always bring a new idea, fresh ideas. So, man, big ups. I just have two quick questions. The first one is, I see that earlier in the week, you said that the VP delegation, it will be like, I guess, like 10%. It'll be evenly balanced, right? 10, 10, 10, 10. If we wanted to like delegate it, for example, this person has 63%, this one has 23%, could we delegate like that, or it's automatically set?
At the moment, that's a trade-off that we've made to reduce the complexity of the project. So it's going to be even. So if you have 100 VP and you want to delegate to 10 people, it will be 10 each.
Okay, so it has to be even. There's no other way around it, right?
Yeah, for now, yeah.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. And the last question is, I remember I think about 2-3 weeks ago in the DAO Discord, people were kind of like not upset, but just like HP brought it up, but like like it's an extra step we have to click in order to see the votes. So it kind of people were kind of like a little worried about it. I'm just curious, and then you say that you're going to collect data, or you're going to see which is the better step. You're going to a testing phase. So I just want to know, have you collected any data, or what measures are you trying to do to see which way is better? And I'm not saying I disagree with it. I'm just curious to see how you're going to make your final decision.
So regarding like quantitative data, we are looking at how many votes are casted on average. If the number doesn't go down, that might mean that the friction is not that big. But we are mostly interested in qualitative data and trying to understand if if the users felt some difference when voting, or if the how can I say, like the not looking at the results before voting made some change on their minds. So that's why we decided that maybe we will release a survey or something like that. But first of all, if votes doesn't go down, that's of course a good sign. But we know that there are some specific use cases, and we actually started to think, okay, maybe we need to make this like a profile setting option, right? So if you want to see the results, there's a setting somehow where you can turn on and turn off that feature. That's one of the ideas.
Okay, and just a quick suggestion, and I'm gonna finish because I know everybody's busy. A quick suggestion, maybe what you can do as well, Zeno, is like maybe you can make an optional like a survey at the end. Like if people want to, you can say, do you like this new feature? But it's optional. If people want to say yes, yes. If they wanted to ignore it. And maybe that's another way you can do as a survey, where after they finish voting, just how you do the emojis, this can be an optional survey, and some people will respond, some people will not, but maybe you can get data from there as well. But regardless of whatever, you're doing an amazing job. Keep it up. I love this energy you're bringing.
Thank you. All right, folks, let's move to the next team. Thank you so much. Let me know if there's any doubts or concerns.
Okay, thanks, Gino. Thanks, Chris, for that questions. It's really awesome what you're doing, and the upcoming developments are like pretty dope. So thanks for that, and to the whole governance squad. So yeah. Next topic in the agenda is about DAO operations and facilitation operations. We could start with the working group's proposal that has passed, and I think I already mentioned this a couple of times. after a lot of work behind this project, they finally passed. And well, we've got now several steps to take before going live in the app. So again, that's why we're working closely with the governance squad. And in the meanwhile, we're starting to run some pilot tests, I will say. And many of you probably saw that a couple of days ago, I think it was a week ago or two, we created a strategic planning working group channel in the Discord. And yeah, there's many people that's getting involved, and this was based on a proposal that Lord submitted a couple of weeks ago. So we are using this as a pilot test by setting up a Notion page to provide an open space to serve as an index, to upload files, to assign roles, onboard collaborators, share information, and visualize the working group progression. And we are doing this in the meanwhile, while the governance squad develops this working group thing in the app. And we are using it also for gathering some feedback from the community about how this could be the best way to do it, right? We are trying to keep it simple as we can. So I'm going to share the link first with you all. And if you want to give us your feedback, if you want to suggest, I don't know, if something should be removed or added, like you said, like I mentioned, in order to keep it simple, please reach out. And also, well, all this is for providing some project management tools that we lacked of in the Discord dynamic. I will say we have a lack of that tool. So when we use this Notion page, and well, after when we integrate this with the app, we will have that tools for the facilitators and for the community to use them. The next thing that we want to update you on is about the request for information proposal that's also being discussed for a couple of weeks now. The update on that is that we are putting together a draft proposal. We are just giving some final tweaks, mainly about the channels that we are going to use for gathering all the questions and then answering that questions to the community. But yeah, in the next few days, I guess we're going to submit that proposal. And we've got 2 more points in the facilitation and operations agenda. The next one is about the committee election process proposal. So I know, Matt, do you want to jump into that?
Yeah, thanks, Fede. For the committee election process proposal, we're looking at all the elections for committee positions that we've had over the past 6 months and in general. So the DAO committee process, the revocations committee process, as well as the wearables curation committee, and looking to establish a formal pathway that is applicable to any committee and is based on the initial proposal that was passed for election of DAO committee members. So that we don't have to engage in this sort of ad hoc process using the governance pathway that we've been doing thus far. So fundamentally, nothing new is going to be introduced into that proposal. It's going to be more a consolidation of existing policies and procedures and putting it into a single pathway that will then eventually integrate into the governance DApp. So we have a more vertical process that we don't need to use the single proposals like we've been doing. So that's that. We'll be putting that out after we wrap up the ongoing revocations committee election.
Thanks, Matt. Also want to mention that we are having a lot of back and forth with the rest of the core units about this, just to agree on a consensual process for this. So thanks to all of the other people that are collaborating with this. The last topic in the agenda, in the facilitation agenda, is about strategic communications. So, Nat, do you want to jump in?
Sure. Can you hear me? Oh, yes.
Perfect. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Just
Sorry.
checking. Okay, cool. Yeah. It's been a busy past 3 weeks since we last met. Great to be back here with everyone. And some of the things I've been working on include continuing to host the technical MAs with the foundation. So, in case you don't know, we just had a time change for those. They're now happening on Thursday. So we had one this morning at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm also continuing to host and coordinate Twitter Spaces. If you've missed those, I'm also uploading them to our DAO YouTube channel. Our last one with the Grant Support Squad, we spoke about all the grants, new grant cycle, user testing, and also I wanted to reach out to all you guys here. If any of you guys have any ideas for spaces, please feel free to DM me and I can add you to my database schedule for those as well. I'm also joining up with a strategic planning working group with Lord Like and Fede, and I'm helping with a strategic comms portion and continuing to build out other deliverables about the DAO and continuing to work and create and plan and post content to Twitter, YouTube channel, our weekly newsletter as well. Also, if you've never checked either of those out, I highly encourage you guys to head over, follow us on our Twitter account and our YouTube channel. Lots of great content on there. Started working and planning out the next 2 monthly pulse portions for our the facilitation squad, continue to also work with grantees on helping promote events, projects, and updates for that. And last but not least, we have an awesome in-world meetup today after Town Hall finishes up with Tangpoko. So she's here. Hey, so happy you're here. And we'll be posting the link and hosting it here as we usually do. So stay tuned for that. And with that, I'll pass it back to you, Fede.
Thanks, Nat, for that. A lot of work, that we've been doing this last week. So, glad that also the Twitter Spaces are working really well. A lot of engagement from the community, a lot of participation. So, great work on that. The next thing, I think we can jump into the Grant Support Squad updates. So, I know Sino or Gia, if you want to jump into this.
Hi, everyone. Yes, Gia here from the Grant Support Squad. So I'll start with the squad updates as always, and then move forward with our invited guests for today. The first thing is about the new quarterly budget. So as we have announced in the general Discord channel and yesterday also on the Twitter Spaces, we'd like to let you know that a new quarter has started this month. And first of all, yes, thank you, Facilitation Squad, because you opened that space for us to share the news and more details about the program to other audiences yesterday. It was really, really cool. There were a lot of questions made by the community regarding how did the first quarter end. So here we'd like also to share some insights about that. It is important to bear in mind that this quarter started in January, but the grants program resumed in March the 1st. So it is important to acknowledge that proposals were received only during 1 month of the entire period. And the next quarter will be able to make a better analysis on how percentages were used along the 3 months of the quarter. But for quarter number 1, there were 7 proposals that passed. 3 of those proposals were from platform using a little bit more than 35% of the allocated funds for that quarter. And there were 4 in-world content proposals that passed, having like 99.1% of the allocated funds for that quarter for that specific category. And besides those, there were also 15 proposals from other categories such as accelerator or core units, social media, content, and documentation, but they did not pass the threshold. But we are waiting for this new quarter for them to reapply. And then also it is important to note that all the money that was not allocated to grants from 1 quarter are funds that stay in the DAO treasury, because there were questions about that too. And that we have on our roadmap from the Grant Support Squad to review how these changes to the program that were executed in March evolve, and how can we adjust these changes to better serve not only the grantees, but also to take care of the treasury and hearing, of course, the comments comments of the community. So it was really valuable what we had yesterday, and keep those comments coming because we are going to build this hearing all your thoughts. Then the second one that I'm really excited about is the revocations committee. We're really close to having a revocations committee. So the binding governance proposals for each committee member have been posted today by Zeno. So I invite you to go test the voting module that our governance squad launched with these committee members, and to go vote, please vote for the committee members that you consider will do a good job in this position. I will put these links here because I think it's really handy. Here they are. And we will post the substitutes later today or tomorrow. So expect those too. Then regarding fostering transparency on our side, we are slowly creating public roadmaps with the grantees for the community to see how the developments are going by each of the projects funded by the DAO. And also it's a good way of opening our follow-up process to you all. So I will also share this Notion link. This is an ongoing process, but we are going through all of the grantees to also put them here. Sorry. I think you know you're the best. Good. And then also the last thing that I have for you today is that Testing Tuesdays, we have started minting POAPs to recognize the contributors that come and join us in these sessions. And we are going to make a gaming Testing Tuesday on May the 2nd, so save that date because that one will be super fun. And then another thing is that after the 10 sessions of the Testing Tuesdays, we are planning to do a retrospective session in May. So if you have attended one of the testing sessions, you will receive an invitation to join us. And please come because that's the only way that we can know how to make these Testing Tuesdays better, not only for you testers, but also for the grantees. And then the only thing is that if you haven't participated on these Testing Tuesdays, but you would like to attend one, I will share the link to the form so you can join us and be a tester in the future. And meanwhile, let's welcome our grantees for today. The first grantee that we are having is Metagami Mall. This project is a metaverse mall that includes the development of mini games inside this mall for brands to showcase their collections and also reward Decentraland users. So, a ver, Sino, you have it there.
Yes, I'm starting to share my screen.
We can see it. Yes.
All right.
Metagami Mall is a metaverse mall that aims to become the bridge between players and brands and gather them here in Decentraland. We provide rich experiences from multiple mini-games to the music stages, and we insert advertising in those experiences to make sure that the brands get exposure. You will see various forms of brand advertisements here. Some are logos, some direct players to their Twitter or Discord, and some are 3D models of brands' products. And in return, brands will provide attractive but limited wearables or NFTs as rewards, and players need to collect enough materials in games to claim the rewards. In this process, they will also notice brands' advertisements, which is how we bring awareness to brands. Those wearables rewards are getting more and more creative. Some brands will give the holders some of their tokens as a way to attract players. Some give it game utility, and some even would give a fancy coffee cup in real life to the holders. It is not hard to understand why players want to spend time earning them for fun and profits. We usually released a batch of wearables and rewards together in our large-scale event MetaMine. We used the MetaMine event to onboard Coca-Cola, Meme Coffee, Sensorium, and 10 more high-quality brands into Decentraland, and we helped them design and create their first Decentraland wearables. We have also invited famous Decentraland community projects like Decentral Games, Knights of Antrim, and BP Farm, and we launched dual game utility wearables together for the players. Since we started operating, we have held 20 plus events in various scales, recorded around 9,000 unique users in our database, and we have had an average of 230 plus daily active users for almost a half year. Most of the time, our concurrent users rank top 2 to 5 among all Decentraland projects. And recently, we saw a maximum of 120 concurrent users due to the Meta Mind Season 2. You are welcome to drop by now to feel the hype. There are a lot of other cool features of Metagami Mall. For example, a super avatar swap that can be understood as a Gami Mall version of linked wearable. We cannot explain them all in this short video, but you are welcome to discuss them with our team here or in our Discord. Finally, as a DAO grantee, we've open sourced most of our codes. We will keep creating, and we wish our hard work can keep onboarding brands and players, and of course, contribute to the prosperity of Decentraland.
All right, thank you so much, Sino, for that. While you can set up the second grantee, I'll introduce a little bit. So they are Soul Magic. They are led by Mazak. And this is a role-playing game about a magic school where players can mine ores and can craft wearables and alchemize within the world. And it also has its own in-game currency, which is called Midas. So let's check it out.
Hello everyone, this is Mazak from Soul Magic, and it is an honor to be here today to share with you about the updates of Soul Magic. So let me first start by introducing myself. I'm a co-founder of Soul Magic and a game designer. You can add me on Discord, and you can follow Soul Magic's Discord in order to get the latest update of the project. Soul Magic is a magic-themed RPG, and we have 2 locations in Decentraland. The first one is Elswith Magic School, which is the main location. And surrounding the magic school, players can mine ores, alchemize and craft wearables, and also do farming in the farming area. They can also collect gold meters, which is the in-game currency every day in the school. So we also launched Anchor Temple recently in late March. It is where the Discovery and Trinity Crown quest takes place. Meditation skill, it was launched in January this year, and it is an important skill in Soul Magic. So players can meditate in order to restore soul, as they will consume soul when they perform activities such as mining and farming in the game. Alchemy and crafting skills were launched in February this year, and alchemy is the skill that combines mining ores into alloys. So there are 3 levels of alloys that require different levels of alchemy. And crafting is a popular skill in Soul Magic because it allows players to craft wearables from the alloys they alchemized and the magic stones they collected through mining. So we have 2 wearables for players to craft. The first one is Wolf Axe, which is a pickaxe that adds mining bonus in the game. And the second one is called Minotaur Metal, which is the wearable that enables players to unlock Discovery skill. So Anchor Temple is where the Trinity Crown quest takes place, and with the metal, players can dig the excavation sites in order to discover new game items and train the Discovery level. So Discovery is a new skill in Soul Magic. It allows players to find new game items from digging, and also it is required to find certain items in order to complete the Trinity Crown quest. So the quest is actually a treasure hunt game, and we implemented Decentraland World in the game, where is the final location of the Trinity Crown. So some players find it pretty tricky because there was coordinates shown in the treasure map, but the coordinates is actually located in the Decentraland world, but not in Genesis City. And Trinity Crown became a popular variable with trading volume of over 500 mana after launch. So during the Metaverse Fashion Week, we partnered with a Web3 fashion brand called Poppy, and we launched a collab store in Dragon City. So there was a wearable crafting event that allows players to claim our legendary items, and we have 5 items for players to craft. And during the event, our mythic wearables were sold out quickly. So as for our roadmap, we will continue to look for collaboration with other projects and also communities. In April, we will launch our exchange center that allows players to trade the in-game resources in Soul Magic. And for the next 2 to 3 months, we will launch the magic spells and magic spell book in Soul Magic, and also the PvP game related to the magic spells. So our plan is to launch our game token in the mid to long term. This is the end of our presentation today. So thank you very much for your time.
All right, and I think that's it on our side, Fez. I don't know if we can take questions now, or would you rather save that for later?
No, yeah, I was about to say, well, first of all, thanks for sharing those updates. And I was about to say that we can move towards the open forum. So if you want to make questions about the grantees updates or anything else, this is the moment. Also want to remind you that after this town hall, we are having an in-world meetup at the DollHouse to get a tour from our grantee Tangpoko. So, yep, open to questions. Well, I think that's all then, if there are not questions. So let's jump, for the ones that are staying, let's jump into the in-world meetup. And well, thanks everyone for joining. It was a session with a lot of updates, with a lot of content, so really glad to be here with you. Thanks everyone.
Thanks, bye.
Thank you, Fede.